Morning everyone, and we have the main issue this morning, the main event this morning is the UK credit survey. So I took that Dow off of 15 pips last night. I waited until I got it around about this 60, 65, I think something like that. That's probably just under the 60 mark, and then just took it away, took it off. Very boring. Did ultimately work, but slow. Before we open, I mean, the DAX is just having a really pathetic week, so I'll keep an eye on it, but at the moment, just avoid it. And that's a really, really slow range. The whole week has been in 100 pip range, 9, 10. No, about an 80, 85 pip range for the whole week. So I'm not even going to attempt to. I'm just losing money on the DAX this week. Making money on the pound. So yesterday's high was 235. We've got a gap down there at 190. And we just hit a barrier in the 60-minute. So here's the Sunday open at 112, dipped underneath it to backfill, and then we've started this climb. So now any pullback to around about 200 area. We've started the session with a sell signal. We've engulfed the previous bar, so any pullback into this area here is a potential buy. You can see, we're up here before last week. This is where we dropped from. So all we've done so far is climb back to the drop zone. So if we've climbed to the drop zone, then we need a run up to it on this pound US dollar. Okay, so the RSI is a little high, MACD is a little high. So on that 60-minute, let's just see if we can get into this trend line. Okay, so this pound yen, I think I've made a mess of these fibs. I think I may need to tidy them up. So that's the reason why I went long the pound yen yesterday. Nice three-way reversal into resistance. So if we are looking at the pound yen again, that 860, 850 will be a good place to get in if we see it. You just put yesterday's high on that. I don't think we need the low. I'll keep the fibs off. Okay, DAX is, as for those of you just joined us, I just said that it's an 85 pip range all week, so I am very cautious on this. It's just looking very toppy. It is holding up. We've got 2 days of higher closes, but it's pretty pathetic. Euro had a good day as well. Euro yen was, if anything, slightly better than the pound. Came off this 15-minute 200. This was also the 60-minute 200 under here. So that 250 was good for 100 pips if you stayed in till late in the day. So 295, 300 is a potential buy on that one. But the main piece of data we got today is Bank of England. And then tomorrow it's US inflation. So started the session with a higher 15-minute bar, but doesn't look as if it's finding buyers. So let's see if we can get down to these lower levels. Let's just have a look at the daily as well while we're here. So there's the fibs on the last range, and thing to note on this one. So decent range of 772 to 663, so it's also a 900 pip range. So that's the pullback to the 100 moving average. This is the 200. At the moment, pulling back into this resistance of 325 area. So all week we've been closing higher on this one, so we just need to try and get a pullback into yesterday's range to see if we can leg it up to this this area here. Ultimately, if this is a wave 1, this is a wave 2, wave 3 could potentially get up here. The MACD is low still. We're not even crossed on the MACD yet, having had all these several days up. So it just shows you what a lagging indicator it is. The last time we crossed, we got these runs. So if we can cross here, we could potentially do well. Everything is very, very quiet at the moment. Hardly a flicker on the watch list. Quick look at oil invents today. So I'm looking for 50-50. A full pullback to 50 will be even better. The chart pattern on this oil is a potential head and shoulders. Don't often talk about head and shoulders, do I? I don't often trade it. Shoulder, head. So if we can get another shoulder, then I think we can get going. So that shoulder would potentially be 50-50, and then all the way back to 50 would be even better. So somewhere around here is a potential buy for oil. That is assuming that we may not even get down there. This is a good buy signal here. So if they just move it into the buy signal, then we might push out. So the only way we can do this is hold out for 50-50 and see if that happens. If not, look at the higher number. Right, so on the DAX we have a gap fill. So we've got a gap fill and holding in the range. Pretty pathetic. Is it shortable? On the basis that the daily is looking very overbought, yes, you could just keep shorting the highs and see if one breaks. That's one way of doing it. We've seen literally on this DAX, you seem to be able to just short whatever they give you in the morning and then at least get 25 pips out of it. If you want more pips out of it, you have to wait longer because this didn't crack until well into the middle of the day. So if we get the repeat of yesterday's pattern, we look as if we're holding up and start to drift lower and then eventually cave in. Difficult to short on these smaller time frames because we've got so much support underneath them. So if you are going to short it, I would look for a higher number. We're just tickling underneath this 13,000, aren't we? So if you wait till you get a higher number, maybe even a stab at 13,000, and then see if that can work. Right. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to flick off of that that quickly. One thing in the favour of the bulls is we have got a buy signal into this open. That's one of the highest closes since Monday. So if I drag that down to this week's high, sorry, you can see we're in a bit of a squeeze here. So we keep holding the Sunday open. Now this is a good little device. Yeah, there we go. We're in this little upward channel with MACD on the floor. So if we start closing above 990 plus, or even if we close above, close above 990, I'm going to drop that even further. There, that's right on the line there, 985. So whichever way we close out of that, I think is our direction. That's a hell of a box. So keep an eye out for 950 and 985. And yeah, as in previous days this week, the highs at the moment are selling. You just have to be at your screens, and this week you just need to be at your screens and take whatever high you get at the open. Otherwise, that's been really hard to trade. Let's see if we get a kickback up there later on. Okay. In the meantime, this is just coming into yesterday's high. So ideally, I'd want at least, I want a lower number. Look at the indicators. Indicators are quite low here. So I would like a lower number. Otherwise, we are really flat. I only marked off the I think after a relatively quiet week, I think tomorrow maybe one of those Fridays that gets interesting because it's US inflation. Let's hope US inflation lights a fire under this market because it's limping at the moment. Right, so we've actually, where are we? Which bar is it here? So we've actually triggered short at the moment on an open trading range, but of course we are sitting on last week's high. So this is my scenario planning on the pound US. We're coming to overnight support, maybe even as far as 200. Putting a buy signal and then start to push up again. That will be ideal. Now, like I said, on the watch list, there is hardly a flicker. Right, first 15-minute bar of this is lower, having tested yesterday's high. And the gap is, I think that will qualify as a gap and go, I think. What else can I show you? I was looking at US dollar yen yesterday. Now, this is still one to watch because of inflation tomorrow. So this is my assessment of the US dollar yen. Sunday's open, 265. Intra-week trend line. So 200 could possibly be a buy on this one, because if we get 200 and hold and then break out of that, that is a fabulous chart pattern. Of course, break underneath 200. In fact, let's just put 200 in there. And take that trend line out. Right, if that comes, whichever way we close, above or below 112 is a potential direction for this one. The daily's had a very bullish run. 150. There's a knot of moving averages around about 100, 150 on this one. Right, DAX. Now remember last night the Dow, although it didn't move much, it did move to the upside. So if this one is just coming down into this little bit of support, that might be an option. So even if you shorted that, you're going to be 15 pips up at the moment. Okay, we could drop further, but right, pound is getting bid at the moment. So at the moment that 235's got bought. Let's hope they just drifted lower. So at the moment, I just think the DAX is a lower probability trade. I was trading the Dow. I would want to pull back to 850 at least if I was going to buy it. Yeah, 843 is a major support level. So I think a break into yesterday's support at 235, 245 might work if you wanted to trade that, but it's having a tough week. Yeah, that looks lower at the moment. That's going to do at least a partial gap fill by the look of it. Yeah, I think this needs to come into 850. I think what I'm going to do is I think I might just sit this out for a bit. And just wait for these markets to come back to decent levels. This is a tiny, tiny range here as well. Is that 8 pips? 7 or 8 pips. So I think they're doing let's tell you what, let's fib the gap. It's going to adjust that fib. This is annoying me. I've changed it and I don't like it. It's too clumsy. If you've got to be able to see the information. Where are we? Right, so 845 is a potential, yeah, this 850, 845 is a potential pullback in towards the gap. So let's see what that gives us. I'm going to take that off. Okay, so I'm going to watch this one because the spread is tighter, and this is actually held up marginally better than the pound yen. So because the spread's tighter and this has been stronger, I will watch this one. So my ideal entry will be at least 225, at least. Could we short this? Yeah, we come into 250 and put a sell signal in. The risk reward ratio is not great. Right, I think DAX is slipping away. Right, okay. Yeah, 986. This is no actual 5-minute sell signal. It just crashes into 856 and the sellers just come in. So you would have to just, despite a higher close, you will literally just have to take 856 and keep your stop out of trouble and hope it drifts lower. If it really cracks, then you just fade it. If it cracks and you miss it, then you just fade it. That's the game. Right, I'm just rambling and not doing much. So I think I will just sit this out. Let this drift low. Hopefully, let this drift lower. And let's see if we get closer to this support at 220, 225. Okay, I'll talk to you at 5 minutes. Otherwise, I think I'll just come back to you at 1:45 and top of the hour, because this is just where patience is needed, I think. All right, talk to you then. Okay, as we come into this half an hour, we are still flat in what is a really flat market at the moment. I've just been flicking through the charts on my other screen. I'll just share that with you in a minute. So rather than flick the screen in front of you, I thought I'd just flick around on my other screen, and I am not seeing much at all. Drifting lower in the yen pairs. The Euro yen is picking up here. Let's have a look. No, it's not holding at the moment. Well, let me show you what I've got. We've got pound yen just coming into this support at 850. Tichy open range. Gap fill down there at 807. Euro yen has had a really sweet move yesterday. That is just right. This is interesting. This is coming into. It's broken up to the 127 extension on the 1 hour chart. It's just coming into last week's high at 308. So this, at the moment, this is one of the most interesting charts out there, I think. Let me just mark off the range. Okay, so we're coming into support at the bottom of the hour. Pound pairs are doing very little. This is liking the test of last week's high. Very, very bullish setup. Normally, if we can get confirmation that we're going to hold here. Pound DAX, very little movement at the moment. If I just put the 15-minute fibs on this, you can see why I was interested in this why the yen pairs did so well yesterday. Came into the 15-minute 200, closed lower and immediately closed higher, and then it just started to run. Right, so we're sitting on top of the zone here. So let's wait and see if this holds, and we can trade the pound as we get closer to data. DAX is coming off a little bit more. Right, let's just focus on this one. You can see here we got a leg up after the London close. So London close is 297. So I will wait and see if we get a 15-minute buy signal and then think about getting into that. Here's the reason why this has been so good this week. It was sloppy into the first half of the week, I have to admit. There's the Sunday open at 207. Closed above it Monday morning, did a little run. Pulled back at London closed, another little run, overnight run, and then we started to do better on the Tuesday. And then finally on the Wednesday, we get all these little pullbacks culminated in that breakout. That was all the little shifts from the Sunday open to Wednesday's mid-morning, and then there's the push into 127 overnight. So here we are just coming into last week's high, so this is a potential good pullback. So that's why the detail is there in your 60-minute chart. You just have to follow it and concentrate on it. Right, let's see. We're not that far off a gap fill. So let's see if we can fade this area here and then gap fill, at which point that'll be a much better place to get in. If you look at the daily, strip this back, there's the channel. So I spent the first part of the week getting bought on that channel, hence the reason why I talked about it so much. Break up yesterday, now we're just waiting for a half decent pullback to see if we can then make a go for the top of the channel. Nothing else cooking at all at the moment. Really, really quiet. So let's hope that fades and backfills, and then we can switch attention to the pound nearer the data. Right, I'm going to go quiet until 1:45 now. So grab a drink, grab a coffee or something, and come back and see if we can get the pullback we need for an entry on this one, because I'm certainly not going to short it. And this pound US is holding this 235, yesterday's highs, and floundering. Charts that have backfilled and I close the gap, I find are much healthier charts to trade, the ones that haven't. There's always a risk that they will decide to fall out and come and retest the close. Okay, so I'll keep this one focused, and then I'll look at the pound on the other screen. Right, see you at 1:45. Okay. I would like a pullback to at least 10 on this one. Let's hope we fade that. Just a quick look at the DAX. I mean, yeah, you literally get a sell signal just before we get a lower close, just before we come into this. So 286, yesterday's highs, was a potential target. We're only giving you 20 pips, just about 20 pips at the moment. Of course, it's still not maybe not finished yet. Pound is still closing lower. And pound yen is lower, sitting on decent support. So let's just back to the euro yen, getting a bit of a drop now. So I would like 310, if not lower. 295 would be ideal. Right, I've decided to buy a pullback in this one into the hour. Why? Because we've come off of some support. We've come off of yesterday's highs, and we are closing higher. I think it's a low risk entry. I like to get 245 again if I can. I'd like to get a dip. It's still a pretty slow market, so let's just hope we get that pullback. 243 is the floor of the range, so that is a better level if we can. DAX is picking up a little bit. Pound yen has come off of that support, 250 support. This one, to me, looks better because we're above a lot of support. We're still grappling with some congestion in that pound yen. Right, it's pretty slow, so there should be an opportunity to buy a dip unless they suddenly just get a squirt on, which I don't think they will do. 243 is my ideal level. Yen pairs are doing a little better at the moment. Wow, this is really slow, isn't it? Thankfully, you don't get sessions as slow as this normally. The MPEGs are ticking up, not running up. Just as you have to short the highs in the DAX, looks like you have to buy the dip, buy the low in this to get anywhere. All right, we're very close to the hour, so let's just hope that ticks down into the hour. Okay, into the hour, decent buy signal, and now we need a drop. Now we need a pullback because they've just literally gone in at yesterday's highs, 235. DAX is picking up a little bit. Euro yen is sloppy. Yeah, overall a really sloppy morning, apart from just little squirts. And this is this pickup from 235 is one of them. So let's just concentrate on 243. the pound hourly close is pretty pathetic, really. It's still only a higher close inside a bearish bar, so this could still roll over. If we close back under 235, this could be a short, but it's been bullish all week, so let's just concentrate on scalper school buy signals, i.e. floor of the range. Quick look around while I'm waiting for that to drop. Yeah, the 15-minute DAX at 85 has generated 25 pips. Would I short that? Yeah, if that fades into 74, 75, puts in a sell signal, yes, I would. Well, I would definitely short that. In the meantime, the pound yen, it's very similar bar, isn't it? Very similar looking chart, similar sort of range. Euro flat, euro yen still looking as if we could drift back to that gap fill. So keep a close eye. Yeah, so that's going to be my second trade. I'm going to keep a very, very close eye on this euro yen gap fill. In fact, let's alarm it. Yeah, I'll probably put an order in the book for that one. Okay, getting close to 243. Just waiting for a dip. Okay, I am going to just be a little bit more patient. Let's hope we just get a dip. Right, here we go, a little bit more of a dip. Okay, I'll take this to 46. If it doesn't dip. Yeah. Right, I've got 245. Taking 245. Right, so the scalp score target would put it at 260, 265. And let's see if that can do well. Okay, I'm going to go quiet now till we get the data out of the way. Let's have a quick look around before I just zip off for a drink. Bearish 60-minute bar. I would still look at a fade after the data. Pound yen drifting into resistance. Closer to gap fill would be nice. Euro flat, euro yen. Still drifting under the range with a lower close. I have 3 lower closes in the 60-minute chart. So I would dearly love to get a dip in that one. Right. So I will see you at 25 past. Okay, catch you at 25 past. Right. I've just been doing a report and realised the mic was off. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to sit tight in this long pound, literally back to my entry point here, and got European data in 17-18 minutes. So I'm going to go for a break, come back just before the top of the hour, see where we are, and then close the room. Ideally, I think this looks as if it's getting bought. This is tipping up. Last week's high is looking as if that's going to hold. So I'll, if you want to stick around, I will be back in 15 minutes. In the meantime, I'm just going to take a break. Okay, I'll see you then. I had a horrible feeling that this was going to roll over on me. DAX is okay. I'm going to write this morning off again. Everything's happening in the US session. So I just ran upstairs. Unbelievable. It was very slow. I guess there's always a threat in a slow market that yeah, if the volume's not there, if the buyers don't come in, then you just had it. Okay. So shorting the DAX at the highs was the winner. Otherwise, nothing cooking. So the DAX is back into support again. The second time in 2 days we've tested this 1 hour 200 moving average. So I'm going to have to stand aside. But if you look at all the major moves this week, they've all come in the US session. If you look at the Euro Yen on a 60-minute chart, pick up all the lows and the runs at all US period. This one ran yesterday just before, it picked up just before the London close. The Euro US ran very late European morning, close to midday in Europe. Oh boy, terrible Euro session. Unless you this week's Euro session, you just blindly short high into the open, into the London Open. Otherwise, you wouldn't have made any money like me. I've lost money on every single Euro session this week. I can't remember the last time I did that. Right, I'm going to walk away and reassess. Okay, it happens. As I was looking at this market, I was thinking, well, we've hit the 127 extension. Is this going to be extension reversal? But the only reason I liked it, the reason I bought 245 is because we held this 236. Okay. We're all in the hands of the US market again, so I will try my best to pick up any levels that we see in the US market. But yeah, the trade of the Euro session this week has been just selling DAX highs, as you say. Okay, I'm going to retreat and come back to these markets later because I'm annoyed at myself. So it's 511. That's only at the moment. It's only generated 10 pips at the moment. The 60 minutes now looks better. Right, enough analysis. I have to walk away. Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys, and I will report back later.